WJPZ HD1 Syracuse. Z89's got you covered with everything you need to know. And some things you don't. Your weekly dose of news, the way you want to hear it. Z89 presents Orange State right now.
Let's move on. We don't have much time left.
I'm sorry.
No. You've been great. You're doing your thing.
Yeah, okay.
I want to talk specifically about transportation and infrastructure. We'll give you the 7 seconds. Go for it.
Okay. Move the central bus terminal.
All right, that was great. You had your 7 seconds. You left some silence there. All right, that's cool. So, by moving the central bus terminal, what do we accomplish?
Well, what do we accomplish? First of all, we're going to accomplish moving that into an area of town where people who use central bus will have a more comfortable, better suited place to move around the city. Also, we need to get Centro to broaden their use amongst city residents.
I like that.
We're talking about green again. Less use of vehicles going into downtown. I think it's critical that we create places where people can park on the outskirts of the city, like a park and ride, and have Central pick them up, bring them into the city. This works extremely well with the State Fair.
It does.
And you know how I know? My wife would not, she would drive her car just about everywhere.
Okay.
But with the State Fair, she always drives her car to the parking ride and take the bus. I said, well, why do you do that? She says, it's much easier.
Yeah, it's a
And
lot
it's
easier.
comfortable, and I could get dropped off right at the front gate, and I can pick the bus right up at the front gate. There's no waiting, and the transportation routes are great. You get in and out. You're not stuck in traffic because the buses have the advantage.
Absolutely. Well, I think important to talk about in terms of transportation infrastructure, I think, Matt, you're about to bring it up, is...
Oh, yes. You mentioned about taking down Interstate 81. We go through the city. Now, what channels would you have to go through to make that happen? Where would a new road be, and how much would that cost, and who's going to pay for it?
Okay, very good.
Lots of questions.
All right, lots of questions. Right. First of all, you guys asked that question as if I'm the last word on that. That's what the community. That's what the community wants.
Okay.
It makes sense to take. First of all, the bridge is going to have to be torn down. The life is up.
Okay.
The lifespan of the bridge is up.
Right.
So they're going to have to take that down.
All right.
Why build it back up again? Why not have the road come level into the city and build that green, sustainable, modernized city that we want?
So not necessarily route the traffic around the city, but bring it through the city and have it incorporated, as opposed to where people can stay on the highway and just blow right through the city.
Exactly. Now, let me add this to it. The major commercial traffic, you always want to reroute around the city.
Of course.
But you will still have the advantage of being able to hit the highway again, but you're just going to do it at ground level. And you're going to be going a little bit slower, and you can take in the city and hopefully create green space like a Savannah, Georgia, which has more parks per square mile than any city in the United States.
Very interesting.
Okay.
And also, the reason why I'm in favor of it, there is 60 to 70 acres worth of development around that area. Now, taking the highway down, we will be able to develop those areas, create housing for doctors, middle and low-income housing for people who use upstate medical. Instead of going back to Skinny Atlas or Fayetteville or Camillus, why not have a condo right downtown? Doctors finish working, boom, he can shoot right to his condo.
It's great.
60 to 70 acres worth of development.
I like that. And the money for this stuff?
The money for the highway would come from the Department of Transportation.
Right.
Okay, and the bridges, and so it comes from the federal government. As far as the development, I talked about the New York State Historic Tax Credit, as well as the National Historic Tax Credit.
All right. That sounds great. All right, one last issue to get into.
Okay.
And then, I just want to thank you so much for coming in here,
It
letting
has been
everybody
great.
know.
I love it.
We're very happy to have you on the show. We're honored, and
Right.
you've been an excellent guest. Let's get into our last one.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you want to talk about it, and I'll do the countdown?
Okay, this one would be about economic development within the city, and
Go for it.
Go
30
for it.
seconds.
We
Or 7
need to complete our capital projects.
That's beautiful. It's
Okay.
gorgeous. Succinct. Expand for me.
Okay. We've had so much development come down the pike, and we have failed miserably
Oh my.
to take care of this particular development in our city. Close to $150 million that we've had for development that we did not develop.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just give you an example. The Hotel Syracuse, the Mispa Towers. The Mispa Towers, the council approved the sale to a developer from out of town for $27,000. He takes out a $2 million mortgage to develop this, or a loan, I should say. Not a mortgage, but a loan to develop the building.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of it, the developer goes bye-bye. No Mispa Towers, the building downtown, the church downtown that was supposed to be turned into a hotel. We have no development, and we have a building sitting there still empty, and now a price tag of $2,027,000.
wow.
Not
That's
good.
what I'm talking about. And what separates me from the other candidates running, I have a history of completing capital projects as a Parks Commissioner.
That's excellent. Very good to
30
hear.
plus, 35 plus projects that I've completed in the city.
Okay.
So once I start something, I finish it.
That's
and I
good to know.
get the job done.
Good to know. Well, go ahead, Matt.
Now, you had mentioned earlier about bringing small businesses back into the city and such things when you talk about sustainability. Now, what would you do to try to get those small businesses? What incentives would you give the small business owners?
Well, I think we have, I know we have a number of small businesses that want to be involved in the city. What the city has to do is become user-friendly. Our codes department, our economic development department, I would scour the country to find the best economic development person I can to head up our city, to handle a city of this size, to make sure that we get the development and what small businesses need to survive. In addition, we have a school right up here on campus. Am I right or wrong?
There is a school up
Yes,
there.
And what's the
yes.
name of the school?
Syracuse
Syracuse
University.
University.
A lot
There
of
you go.
students out there listening.
There you go. Those individuals, I want to encourage those young entrepreneurs because young people have great ideas.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That's true.
Mr. Jennings, you've been incredible and so very vocal about all these issues. We want to thank you so much for coming on Orange State. You're an excellent guest, and good luck with in the race. We hope that you do well.
Yes.
If you're interested more in Otis Jennings, one can visit his website at Otis. Is it OtisJennings.com?
OtisJennings.com or Otis09.com.
All right. Well, if you're interested more in Otis's issues, feel free to check that out. You can also check out our website through Z89online.com and click on Orange State to find the video podcast of this very interview, so you can watch it again and make sure that you know. Thank you very much for listening to Orange State. We'll be right back right after this.
Everything you need to know, and some things you don't. You're listening to Orange State on Z89.